This is a carpet. Not yet, though as soon as the coating on the back has been applied to the fibers, there's no way that we can adjust any potential skew or bow or length repeat. And that means that before that happens, we have to make sure that everything is really 100% correct. How to do that will be the issue in the next 10 minutes. Let's jump right in. Hello and servus from Bavaria. Welcome to the Marlow webcast, also known as MCAST. If you should be here for the very first time, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel of Marlow. We introduce regularly very interesting videos and movies about how to improve things a little bit in the textile production. My name is Stefan Kehry. I'm responsible for the product management of textiles here at Marlow. And today I want to talk to you about carpets. Carpets are normally very wide, very stiff, and they have to fit next to each other every line. That means that the pattern and the repeat length have to meet all their neighbors, all their brothers and their sisters, and how to do that will be the subject of that presentation. Let's jump right in. In carpets, like in many other applications, it's not the weft that runs the show. Here, the pattern is very, very important. Just put yourself into a huge hotel where you have all the aisles and you see the patterns nicely arranged one after the other. If this pattern would have been distorted, you would see it line after line. And therefore, here the pattern is so important, much more important than the repeat or the weft density. Here the pattern is really running the show. We want to show you today how you can control the pattern and also the repeat length with our camera systems. And therefore we have a brand new technology with state-of-the-art cameras that I want to introduce today to you. But first of all, why is it so important to have a regular and a straight pattern? As you can see over here, all these points, they are looking for the right cross sections, and they are important for the repeat of the entire setup of the carpet. So if you are finally laying the carpet on the floor, you always start with the longest part, because if you put the next part next to that part and it doesn't fit and it's longer, you can't actually squeeze together, you have to pull it. You can pull it though, but therefore it is so important to know which part is the longest and which part is shorter. That means we're talking about transparency here, we're talking about monitoring things. And to monitor things, we need the right camera technology. So, talking about technology, talking about production, my question to you at home is, do you have any particular issues, any particular problems that you are facing in your production today? If so, please share it with us, share it with me, and we try to get it sorted and to help you out with what problem ever you're facing. But besides those problems, I want to go now to the camera technology that we use in this particular subject. So here we talk about a residual distortion, because nobody wants to have a skew or bowed carpet, and of course we want to see the repeat pattern, and simply because we need to make sure that every pattern is really fixing to the next one. How does it work? First of all, our system is looking for a measurement area. Inside that measurement area, we are looking for a reference pattern quite easily. And once we have that reference pattern, we are looking to the right, we are looking to the left, and we see how this reference pattern is appearing on those left-right orientation. And then what our system does is it is drawing a line, and we see immediately whether or not there is a distortion. And once we discovered that distortion, we give a signal to our weft straightener, and the weft straightener does what the weft straightener does. It makes things straight. So this is what we do for the correction of the straight fabric, but we also have to make sure that we have the right pattern and the right repeat. So basic situation, exactly the same. We get a measurement area, we are looking for a reference over there, we are looking to the right, we are looking to the left, we are looking whether or not we are having this reference over there, but here we are also looking up and down. And once we have discovered the distortion and the repeat on the side, we are also looking for the repeat of the length. So we have the cross repeat, we have the length repeat. Whilst there's nothing, unfortunately, that we can do in terms of the cross repeat, we do have the opportunity to have the length repeat by the overfeed of the stander. So the correction of the length repeat will be with a signal to the stander. But first of all, it is the line scan camera which is giving all the information, and I want to show you quickly how this line scan camera works. We have the cameras over there, we have an encoder over there. The line scan camera is having a very, very thin line of 1 millimeter, so only one row of light, like the old scanners that you had with your printer, where you could actually scan a paper line by line. It's exactly the same principle. The encoder over here is giving you then the distance, the length, by means of the speed. And if you put both things together, and then you can really transfer all the patterns that might appear during the object to the host computer. The encoder is giving you the length, and the camera is giving you the pattern. So having said all that, you get all the necessary information that is required to really have a good overview about the condition of your carpet, and with this information you then can go and correct it, and finally also get the information to your production units or to your customers. Once again, the benefits or all the different things of that new camera technology. The line scan camera has a frequency of 52,000 lines per second, so there's a lot of data. It is triggered by the encoder to get the distance, and the resolution is 1 millimeter. That means that we have really a very clear visibility of the picture that is required. The advantages of the latest state-of-the-art camera are listed over there. So you have a data transfer by gigabit Ethernet. The cables which are linked to the control cabinet can be longer. That means you are very independent about where the control cabinet is located. It has an improved light sensitivity, and therefore the resolution again is higher and is giving you much better pictures than the old camera systems which have been there before. So the camera adjustment aid means that it can be adjusted together with LED illumination units, and those LED illumination units are very easy to adjust and very easy to introduce to your production. The huge advantage is that these LEDs are having a very, very long lifetime. 50,000 hours is really something, and the maintenance that is related to those cameras is also very, very little. So these camera units are a very reliable partner for your production in the long terms. And by the way, it also has a very high quantity of light, and it saves a lot of energy as well, because the electricity consumption is lower than with conventional lights. The benefits, here we are measuring the repeats and the patterns without measuring the weft. So it gives you a very clear visibility of the different patterns, and it corrects the patterns in combination with a straightener. It gives you an uninterrupted monitoring and logging of the product quality, which is very important for your internal process, because only if you know what is going on, you have the possibility to make things better. And this is what we want to do. Life is constant improvement, and only if you improve your production continuously, you can get better and better and better and finally win the show. Then it will also give you the transparency about what has been achieved for your final customer. And with the latest camera technology, you're always on top of things, and the modular assembly also gives you the opportunity to really install that unit in your production unit tomorrow or next week as soon as possible to improve things in your production. One more question from my side to you. Are the demands for carpets rising? Are they staying the same? Or can you see that for the sake of the prices, the quality is dropping down just to save some euros or dollars or yen or whatever? That would be very interesting for us to know. Just drop it into the comments, and I say thank you very much for that information. Once again, here are some introductions of different carpet applications. Here we are talking about distortion-free fabric without really knowing the weft, only by measuring the pattern of the system. It is very, very important that we do that correction at that step, because afterwards, when we have the back of the carpet applied to the fabric, there's no way that we can really correct it anymore. Then this whole thing is fixed forever. So we have to correct the bow and the skew distortion at that point. We have to make sure that the repeat is always the same at that point. Afterwards, it's game over. So here it is very important to really fix things, and we know very well that the human factor is not always the most reliable thing, and therefore an automatic closed loop control system, which is always ensuring the best quality, like a Marlow does, is the right piece of equipment at that stage. So as I said before, the adjustment will happen by the skew and the bow distortion on the one side, but also by the repeat pattern on the other side, and that gives you really a very good overall picture and the best opportunity to make things 100% right. This would be the installation that we have. This is the weft straightener. This is the brain. This is the host computer. And here are some examples how it would look like. There we have the operator console. Here you can see the lines, and there is the light box, which is giving you the necessary light we work either with transmission light or with reflection light, whatever gives you the best result. And the cameras are up here. As you can see, here are many cameras in order to give you the best resolution ever. There again, another nice picture where you can see the straight pattern over there. And again, together with the straightening unit over here, where the distortion has been taken out of the system. So before putting on the backing of the carpet, you can make absolutely sure that here we have a straight line without any bows, without any skews, and you have, and this is the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, you have control. You have control about the system, you can adjust things before it's too late, and you can monitor it. You can monitor it for your production manager, you can monitor it for a client, for customers. You have all the data available when you need it. And these days with Internet of Things and Industry 4.0, the monitoring is a very, very important thing. Speaking with data today is absolutely essential. So again, the advantages: no claims and rejects because you are in control of things. The other thing, the monitoring and logging leads to a much better understanding of the entire process, and your customer will be happy. Finally, not finally though, the latest camera technology makes sure that you're always ahead of things. And now finally, the modular assembly makes sure that you can adjust that technology into your production today or tomorrow, next week perhaps. So, thank you very much for your time. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we also have a video section in our brand new website. So you can always go there and have a look at our other videos, which are also considering some points about how to make things better. Then if you're interested in that presentation, drop me an email, I will send it to you immediately. And finally, once you're in the comment section, I would be very grateful to get a thumbs up. So thank you very much for your time. I hope that I could leave you with some impressions and some new things how to get control over those stiff and white carpet production. And yeah, thank you once again.